Hello everyone, it's Olumayowa Victor Ogunshola for you today, and I'm here with something very interesting in the field of business management. What I have for us today would be of benefit to business students around the world, because if you're a business student around the world, I know definitely they would at one time or the other teach you about benchmarking. Also, are you an entrepreneur? That means you have your own business. It will be important and necessary for you to know what benchmarking means, and not just for you to know what it means, but to apply benchmarking to your business from time to time. And then if you are an operational manager, tactical manager, or a strategic manager in any organization around the world, it will be interesting for you to know what it means, benchmarking, and then to be able to apply practically benchmarking within your organization. So what is benchmarking? If you come with me to the whiteboard as usual, we'll do this practically, explain what benchmarking is. Thank you very much. Bench marking. So what is benchmarking? Benchmarking is a simple process whereby we compare the practices and procedures within our organization with the practices and procedures of the organization that is the leader in the industry that our organization exists in. I'm just going to put that on the board, please. Yeah? Benchmarking. Benchmarking is about comparing the processes within our organization. So we compare the processes within our organization to the processes of the organization, to the processes of the organization that is the leader in the industry we operate in. It doesn't finish there. It doesn't finish there. Yeah. The main aim of benchmarking is to import best practices that you find in this leading organization into your own organization. Okay? The main aim of benchmarking is to import best practices. The main aim of benchmarking is to import best practices into your organization. So when you compare the practices, the procedures of particular areas of your organization to the practices and procedures of the same area in the leading organization from the industry, and when you see that you import these best practices from that leading organization into your own organization. Let's do this practically, please. Practically, we would explain benchmarking. Let's take about 2 or 3 examples. So, I live in London. This is just an example. And I'm going to and I run chicken and chips shop. So my name is Victor, and I run VFC, Victor's Fried Chicken. You find all these all over London, isn't it? So I've got VFC, and that's Victor's Fried Chicken. If I'm going to benchmark, for example, on a particular aspect of my chicken and chips shop, for example, perhaps how to serve my chicken and chips, okay? How to serve my chicken and chips. If I'm going to benchmark on that, and then I would need to benchmark that with the best in the industry. And we all know that the best in the industry for chicken and chips will be Kentucky Fried Chicken, that's KFC. So I would need to benchmark with KFC. How does KFC serve its chicken and chips? Then when I see this practice, when I see this process, I would import that process into my business at VFC, and that is simply benchmarking. I have taken from the best. I have learned from the best. KFC is the leader in that industry, and then I have imported best practices from KFC. That's one example. Let's look for another example, please. If we are an upcoming mobile phone manufacturer, and now I'm gonna form a name again, okay? Upcoming mobile phone manufacturer, okay? And let's say that the name of the mobile phone that we manufacture is let's say iTech, okay? High-tech. This is an example, yeah? iTech phones. And we want to benchmark on the right way to have cameras, the right functions for the cameras in our phone. Then we have to benchmark with the leader, phone manufacturers in the industry. And that means we have to benchmark with, what do you think? I would say Apple or Samsung. Okay? So iTech phones wants to benchmark, wants to compare its cameras to the best so that they can see what is Samsung doing well. Why does Samsung phones have the sharpest cameras? Why does Apple phones have the sharpest cameras? Then they have to benchmark with these two companies. So they will benchmark with, like I said, Apple, INC, or Samsung. And I hope this is clear. Let's look at one more example. Let's look at education, for example. If we were a university, so let's say that we were a university, an international university. So let me pick a university somewhere, anywhere in the world. Let's go to Africa, and let's pick maybe a university in Nigeria, say University of Abuja, okay? University of Abuja. And University of Abuja wants to benchmark its processes on admissions. So we say, okay, we want to have the best procedures for our admissions. So what we need to do is to look at the best universities in the world and look at how they organize their admissions. So we would be looking at, for example, perhaps in England, we'll be looking at Oxford University in England. We'll be looking at perhaps Cambridge University. That's in England. Then if we go to the US, we'll be looking at perhaps Harvard. If we come to the Netherlands, maybe we'll be looking at a university like Maastricht University or the Erasmus University. And the University of Abuja in Nigeria would look into the admission processes of all these universities, and they would import any best practices found in the admission processes of these universities into their own admission processes, and that's benchmarking. So benchmarking is a way that organizations, just a minute, So to sum it up, benchmarking is a way that business organizations can compare their practices with the practices of the best organizations in the industry that they exist in and import those best practices to improve their own processes. But why do we limit benchmarking to organizations? So I would say that personally we can also benchmark. So you say that I want to be a top entrepreneur. You want to be a top entrepreneur and you say that you want to be a billionaire. Then I would say that you should begin to, you don't have to meet these people, yeah? Then you should begin to think, Richard Branson. I would begin to say that you should begin to think, Bill Gates. I would say that you should begin to think about Jack Ma. I would say that you should begin to think about Jeff Bezos. And I would say that Richard Branson is CEO Virgin Group, Bill Gates, Microsoft, Jack Ma, Alibaba, and Jeff Bezos, Amazon. Thank you very much. Amazon, Jeff Bezos. So you just said to me that you want to be an entrepreneur, but you don't want to be you want to be a billionaire entrepreneur. You want to be a very successful entrepreneur. Why don't I be a Mark Zuckerberg? Come on, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. Why don't I have here African Dangote? Okay, by the name Aliko Dangote of Dangote Group. Okay. Why don't I have here Oprah Winfrey? Okay. So you say that you want to be a very successful entrepreneur. You want to be a billionaire. Please, what do you know about these guys? You need to start reading up about these guys. You need to start looking up about these guys, and then you can import the best practices that you find in these guys into your own personal life. So you need to read about them, read up about them. What did they do? How did they do it? How did they endure? What were the things that they went through? What were the strategies that they used? You can read up about these guys. You don't have to buy a book. You can find lots of information about these guys on YouTube or online on Google search engine. Then you can import these best practices into your own life, and then you are getting close to be a successful entrepreneur. So this is what benchmarking is, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Thank you very much. As you know, I will not go until I talk about my passion for Africa. So I say Africa must develop. Are you an African anywhere in the world? Keep doing something to promote African unity and the development of the African continent. Thank you. If you have enjoyed this video, we'd love to get feedback from you. So you can send us an email at Delta Mango Alpha Yankee Oscar Romeo 4 umbrella @gmail.com. That's dmail for you @gmail.com. Thank you very much in English language. Thank you in Dutch language, and Esheo in Yoruba language from Nigeria, West Africa. Bye.